Okay, audience, thank you so much for coming today. We have a production of How the Grinch Stole Christmas for your enjoyment and pleasure, and directed by Natalie Miller and a cast of famous actors and actresses. Enjoy! Yay!
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Yay, yay, all right, Christmas time, hey, ooh, okay, yeah.
But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now don't ask why, no one knows quite the reason.
Could be his head wasn't screwed on just right.
It could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight.
But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now, hanging a mistletoe wreath.
They're hanging their stockings.
He snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow's Christmas, it's practically here.
Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming.
I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girl and boys would wake bright and early. They'd rush for their toys, and then... Oh, the noise! That's one thing he hated.
The noise!
Then the Who young and old, they'd sit down to a feast.
And they'd feast.
They would feast on Who pudding,
And rare Who roast beast.
which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together, with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand.
And the Whos would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing. And they'd...
And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas song, the more the Grinch thought,
I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do.
The Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and clucked.
What a great Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No! The Grinch simply said,
What did the Grinch say?
What did the Grinch say?
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
so he called his dog Max, Then he took a red thread, and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. Then he loaded some bags with some empty old sacks on a ramshackle sleigh. And he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said,
Get up!
and the sleigh started down the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their town. All their houses were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square,
This is stop what?
the old Grinchy claws hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue,
I need a pillow, Papa.
where the little Who stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings
He said.
must go.
Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present.
Guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plums.
And he stuffed them in bags. Then the Grinch, very nimbly, stuffed all of the bags, one by one, up the chimney. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast feast. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took the last can of Who ash. Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now,
Grinned the Grinch.
I'll take the Christmas tree.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove, when he heard a small sound, like the sound of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou who was not more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of water. She stared at the Grinch and said,
Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot.
The fake Santa Claus lied.
There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it right back here.
And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head. And he got her a drink. And he sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log for their fire. And he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but books and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in their house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses.
Why'd you turn the light off?
Attention. The first 2 songs will be sung, the first 2 verses will be sung by the narrator, the second 2 by the cast, and the last 2 we invite the audience to join in.
You'll meet one, Mr. Grinch. You really are the hero. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
It's morning time.
You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. Now the booze. You're my old man.
Mr. Grinch,
You don't cry, you sin, you smile. You have always the sweetness of a sweet crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile. Dance break. Mr. Grinch, you're the king of sinful songs. Your heart's a the ground under the spots, Mr. Grinch. Your 3 years sauerkraut and toast sandwich are
I can't read it.
I know it's a Christmas. Mr. Grinch,
the nosh,
super nosh. You're a crooked jerky jockey and you drive a crooked horse, Mr. Grinch. Your soul is a fallen dump, heaping overflowing with the graceful assortment of rubbish imaginable, tangled up nuts. Westy skunk, your heart is full of unwashed socks, your soul is full of rock, Mr. Grinch. The 3 words that describe you are the following: stink, stank, stunk.
It was 1/4 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze. When he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it.
Pooh, pooh, to the Who.
She was grinchishly humming.
They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a moment or two, then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, Boo hoo. That's a noise.
The Grinch.
I think let's...
That I simply must hear.
So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear.
Is this a nice fan?
This is a nice map, little boy.
And he did hear a noise rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry, very. He stared down at
Take
Whoville.
all the
The
face away!
Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, without bags.
And he puzzled 3 hours, till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas,
He thought,
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas just happens to be a bit more.
and what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast.
Help me, Max! Help me! Take them all. Take them all. Enjoy, little Cindy-Lou. I lied to you, just so you know.
And he himself, the Grinch, cut the roast beef.
Not too hasty. Not too hasty.
Miley likes it. Yay! Take a bow, Cass. Take a bow. Woo!
Director. Mom, you were looking down. Once again, 1, 2, 3. That's perfect. I'll send that.
Get over there so Grandpa can get you in the picture too, Nina. The first get over
God bless us, everyone.
Yay!
So cute, he really got it.
Excellent job, Cass.